Yo, what up, dude? So hopefully those screening videos, those analysis videos made sense. I like to do this little recap video just to kind of put everything into context and wrap a bow around it. But when I send you the email back, you're gonna see below some drill progressions and just kind of some outlines that I think will help you. But just again, just to kind of recap, dude, is like that first move, that initial move that we're seeing on the mound. That breakdown of the drive leg, right? So this is actually a common occurrence. Even I struggle with this, but you see it with guys that have the capacity and the ability to hold force in their drive leg when they're doing like their pull downs or they're doing their long toss, because the body organizes itself to complete the task. And usually when the task is, a distance, a great distance, or 110% power output exertion, the body will organize itself. And then on the mound, we have a slope, so a lot of things kind of fly out the window. So it's going to be up to you in the sense of what you want to do to progress forward. For me, I would totally limit your mound exposure. I know it's probably difficult because you're probably in season or you're approaching season, but it's tough when we're seeing these types of breakdowns because it's almost like, all right, let's take 6 weeks, stay off a mound, and really hammer the motor control issues that we're seeing in terms of breakdowns, right? So what I mean by that is motor control issues are when you have the ability to move a certain way, like we've seen in your long toss and your pull down videos, as far as holding that backside knee, holding that drive leg and being stable with that drive leg, which also presents real efficient patterns in the trunk, like I said in that second video, where you're creating that separation where your pelvis is going into rotation and your trunk, your hips are staying back, right? So we're able to create that torque, so we're able to create that stretch, and then as we drive at that last second when foot starts to approach touchdown, that's when your hand says, okay, we got to go. And then it's boom, and then you're able to release all of that energy at once. So what we're seeing is you have the ability to do that, but when you get on a mound, something about the mound, the slope, you're falling, you're not really holding that backside as strong as I'd like to see it, which is also presenting a lot of breakdowns, down the mound as well. We're seeing that glove arm potentially flying out. We're seeing this thing drag behind. There's a lot of breakdowns that we could potentially be seeing. So hopefully that makes sense as far as what I'm seeing and maybe what you're seeing as well. But a cue that I think will help in the sense of the hip rotation, with that front foot, like I talked about, how it's kind of open. Maybe think as you descend from your leg lift, think like, obviously we want to be able to hinge, but think heel of this lead leg pointed at your target, right? So this is going to be able to give us better posture as we drive down the mound, right? So again, it's tough because I don't want you constantly thinking about 9, 10, 20 different things when you're trying to throw a baseball. But that's why it's critical sometimes when you're like, hey, let's stay away from the mound. But again, that's just the nature of the beast sometimes. Sometimes we gotta be on the mound. But thinking heel of that lead leg will help us counter rotate those hips and allow us to drive down a little bit more counter rotated, building up that torque. So maybe play around with that thing, that little cue, and see if it'll help. Also glove side, that's going to be something for you. I think counterbalance stuff or connection ball stuff. I'll throw some links for you to purchase if you really want. In the email, I'll get you a discount code. But if you have any plyo balls, I got like a 2 pound, this is a 3 pound plyo ball. Just holding that in your glove, I'll include some videos of me talking about it in further detail. But I've seen so many really good things happen when we give the athlete essentially front side stability in the plyo ball, the heavy plyo ball. So we see that front side now has to be more actively engaged, which will help keep you or whoever's throwing a little bit more closed and then aggressively go into that rotation. So if you have weighted balls, it'd be really good for you to throw, you know, a counterbalance in your glove and then just throw like a regular baseball. I've had clients, you know, jump 10, 12 miles an hour just by giving that front side stability, and then hammering the motor control patterns is just, you know, teaching your body, hey, this is how we should move, and then going out and you know, instilling those. It's almost the same thing that I talk about with pull downs and long toss. Like, that's why I'd be a proponent for you of like, hey, let's avoid the mound and let's hammer those motor control patterns that we're seeing you do a really good job of in your pull downs, in your long toss. And then hopefully, you know, we go on this path, and then 4 to 6 weeks down the road, those are those new motor control patterns that we have now, and you're able to move that way on the mound. Connection ball is also going to be a huge tool. This thing's like $9-10. I'll get you a discount code as well if you're interested. But for you, I'd really like to see that front side connection ball drill. You have a pretty good arm path. I'm not trying to change any arm path stuff, but helping your front side throw something like a connection ball in and just really go into throwing, which will, again, just allow you to be more attentive to that front side and holding that front side a little bit better than you're doing on the mound right now, and then pulling into that left hip instead of kind of what we're seeing right now, a potential glove arm fly out. I'm not saying that yours is that bad, but it could get worse if we're not being attentive to it. So another thing that I think will help for you is feeling that separation, feeling that stretch, right? So what I like to do with guys, or I even do it myself, is just preset throw variations where you can be mindful of what you're feeling. So what we're trying to feel right now is that stretch, that, you know, that hip shoulder separation, whatever you want to call it, that elasticity. So if you want to start your throwing progressions out, like right foot forward, I guess you're a lefty, so it'd be left foot forward. But for me being a righty, right foot forward, and then just separating and feeling that counter rotation of the trunk, like I mentioned, while your hips are open. So you get that sensory input of, okay, that's kind of what that's going to feel like. So then when you're on the mound or when you're playing catch, you know, whatever, you have an idea of that sensation, you know. So right foot forward stuff like this where you're throwing. I do like a lot of half kneeling stuff. So, you know, either leg forward on the half kneeling just allows you to, again, feel that stretch. I can kind of do it with both sides. I like having opposite foot forward. It's just kind of an over exaggeration of what we're trying to feel. What else do I got? And then just drive leg stability stuff, ground force drills, huge. I don't know if you've been following a lot of my stuff, but huge advocate for giving that drive leg stability. I know you're taking your weight training stuff seriously, which is great, but you know, box throwing stuff, single leg boxes, you know, single leg eccentric squat to box, just really making sure that our drive leg has enough strength, power, force, and stability to be able to own those positions while we're pitching. So single leg stuff like this, squat to box, and then getting up, work your way towards a pistol squat. That's really good. And then if you have plyo stuff, actually I know you do, you said it in your assessment, but getting a box in your plyos and even throwing with the box, right? So I'll send you some videos as well of me doing it in like a gym setting, but having like the plyo ball and then really diving into that drive leg, it's going to be, again, it's going to be an over exaggeration, and then just feeling that stability as we get up. That actually might be too low. You want to shoot for like, I don't know, 70 degrees. Just, again, just adding that stability and adding that strength to that drive leg, because we're seeing you on the mound kind of just fall. But we see in pull downs and long toss that it holds stable. So yeah, man, I know I threw a lot at you, dude, but there's a lot to be optimized. So shoot me an email back with any questions. Like I said, I'll outline all the drill progressions and show some like example videos and all that. But best of luck, dude. I think we're a couple clicks away from you jumping, dude. The fact that you have an 88 mile an hour pull down, you know, there's nothing to be said about you not being able to throw 85, 86 on the mound, especially if we're strengthening our arm as well along that process. But I'm excited. I'm excited to see your progress. And again, shoot me an email, any questions you got, and best of luck, brother.